We know that the wildest and most moving dramas are played not in the theater, but in the hearts of ordinary men and women. Carl Jung. A woman doesn't love you. She loves the ghost you become when you surrender. Her gaze isn't warmth. It's a blueprint carving you into the man she demands you to be. You felt it, haven't you? That flicker in her eyes promising salvation. Or is it a cage? Picture a man sitting in a shadowed room, his phone a cold slab in his hand. Her last message, unread, unanswered, glows like a warning. The silence isn't empty. It's a judgment, heavy as stone. Carl Jung peered into this abyss, long before you did, naming it. The Animus, the inner masculine shadow. Every woman carries a ruthless force that doesn't see you, it scripts you. Jung didn't whisper comforts. He carved truths with a blade, exposing the lie you've lived. You're not her lover. You're her projection, a character cast in a play you never auditioned for. Here we don't dress pain in poetry. We name it. We let it burn. Subscribe not to escape, but to face what you've been running from. You thought you were her chosen one. Her eyes locked on you and you felt alive, needed whole. You chased that feeling like a starving man chases bread. Biologically, your brain lit up with dopamine, her approval. A drug you couldn't resist, her laughter, her touch. Her whispered, "You're different." Psychologically, you anchored your worth to her gaze, believing her desire meant you mattered. Spiritually, you handed her. Your soul convinced her fantasy was your redemption. But Jung saw through the lie. She didn't choose you. She chose a myth, a puppet to play the hero in her private drama. The Animus, that shadowy masculine force within her, doesn't love. It possesses. It projects a fantasy onto you, painting you with the colors of her unresolved wounds, her unmet needs, her unspoken fears. You weren't her partner. You were her canvas. And when you couldn't match the image she'd drawn, when you faltered in the role she'd cast, she didn't rewrite the story. She replaced you with a new actor. The betrayal cut deeper than you expected. You stood in the ruins of her departure, replaying every moment, searching for your mistake. The silence after she left wasn't just quiet, it was a sentence. Imagine a man pacing his empty apartment, her scent still lingering on the couch. Her absence louder than any argument. He checks his phone again. Nothing. He thought he was her protector. He was her prop. What if love was never the cure, only the mirror confusion became your shadow following you everywhere? You thought her anger came from your failures, your temper, your doubts, your moments of weakness. You stayed up nights dissecting every fight, every cold glance, every time she turned away. But Jung saw the deeper truth. She didn't resent you for who you were. She resented you for failing the myth she never told you you were meant to embody. Biologically, your body drowned in stress cortisol, surging as rejection tore at your primal need to belong. Psychologically, your mind unraveled her words, looping like a curse. You're not enough. Spiritually, you felt forsaken by the feminine. You'd worshipped, not seeing that you'd forsaken yourself long before she did. You erased yourself to keep her. You swallowed your anger when you wanted to roar, nodded when you wanted to leave, performed until you couldn't remember who you were before the mask. You called it compromise. Jung called it self-betrayal. You thought you were building a future together, but you were dismantling yourself piece by piece. The more you bent, the less she saw you. Jung taught that the feminine doesn't crave comfort. It hungers for mystery, for danger, for the man she cannot tame. By making yourself safe, predictable, available, you didn't become more lovable. You became invisible, disposable, a ghost wearing a smile, haunting your own life. Picture a man staring into a cracked mirror, his reflection distorted, unrecognizable. He touches his face, searching for the man he used to be, but all he sees is the role he played for her. He whispers, "I did everything right." But the mirror doesn't answer. It only shows the truth. He's become a stranger to himself. Did she change? Or did you stop seeing her for what she was? The real collapse wasn't her walking away. It was the moment you saw your own reflection in the wreckage of her fantasy. You weren't a victim, you were a volunteer. Biologically, your instincts screamed to chase her, to fix it, to prove your worth, adrenaline pushing you to act. Psychologically, your mind spun, caught between blaming her and blaming yourself. Shame and anger tearing you apart. Spiritually, you faced the void you'd spent your life avoiding, the emptiness you filled by making her your compass, your God, your meaning. Jung's solution isn't a balm, it's a blade individuation. It's not a quick fix, not a seduction tactic, not a path to winning her back. It's a brutal, lifelong war against the illusions you've lived by. You must face the parts of yourself you've buried, the weak, the broken, the scared. Imagine a man standing alone in a storm rain, soaking his clothes, lightning splitting the sky. He doesn't run, he doesn't flinch. He holds his ground, letting the chaos rage around him. That's the masculine paradox. True strength isn't reaction, it's stillness. Let her rage, let her test. A storm that can't move you will learn to respect you. Nietzsche wrote, "That which does not kill us makes us stronger." But what if the thing killing you is the man you became? To keep her individuation is a solitary path, a terrifying one. You'll see the masks others wear, the games they play, the lies they tell themselves to feel safe. You'll see her projection for what it is, not love, but a prison. And when you speak this truth, they'll turn on you. They'll call you cold, distant, too serious. They'll accuse you of being the problem. But you're not the problem. You're the mirror. And mirrors don't bend, they reflect. The path demands you burn every false version of yourself. You'll sit in the silence of your own mind, hearing the voice that says you're nothing without her, that you need her validation to be a man. That voice will fight to survive, screaming that you're incomplete, that no man can stand alone. But Jung's work whispers a sharper truth. The man who can stand without her, without approval, without applause, is the man who is finally free. Free from her script. Free from the need to perform. Free to be real. Return to the illusion you started. With her gaze wasn't love, it was a leash. You didn't lose her. You lost the man you became to keep her. Jung's warning cuts deep. People will do anything, no matter how absurd, to avoid facing their own souls. You called it love. Jung called it possession. You weren't her partner. You were her projection, and she was yours. You both danced with shadows, blaming each other for the darkness neither of you dared to face. The individuated man doesn't chase. He doesn't beg. He doesn't perform. He stands rooted, anchored in his own truth. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. You don't need her approval to be whole. You don't need closure to move forward. You need clarity and a closed door. When you stop orbiting her fantasy, you rise still unshaken. The bitter twist, the women who once demanded you bend will now resent your stillness. They'll call you emotionally unavailable, too analytical, too distant. But what they really mean is they can't control you anymore. You've stepped off their stage. You've burned their script. You're no longer a character in their play. You're a man whole and untouchable. If you've walked through this fire, comment below. So no man feels like he's breaking alone. This is Philosoul, where we cut through illusions to find what's real. If this truth shook something awake and you share it, there's a man out there still sleeping. You were not made to orbit her. You were made to rise still unshaken.
Thank you for watching. Walk your path with quiet strength.